The making of a legend is definitely in the house. Fire Shawty is in the building.
What's going on, man? How are you?
I'm feeling great. I'm feeling amazing.
All
How
right.
are you feeling?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm blessed, you know?
You are truly blessed. And let me see, representing AZ, Arizona.
Yep. Arizona. Yeah.
What part of
Born in
Arizona are you from?
Phoenix, the big city.
Phoenix.
Yeah.
Wow. How was it like growing up in Phoenix, Arizona?
It's not too bad. It's better than it is now. You know, now it's a lot more homeless, but
Yeah.
yeah, it could get crazy, ain't gonna lie. The heat is the summer heat, you know, it's crazy. It could be
Oh
brutal.
gosh. Yeah, I already know. Believe me,
So,
I know.
yeah. I'm suffering right now, but you know, we're getting through it.
You're getting through it, and you've gotten through a lot of things in your life. But let's
Yeah.
take it back. Let's take it back in the beginning. Okay. So your childhood, um, I'm sure everybody's childhood had a lot of ups and downs growing up. What was some of your trials and tribulations that you went through?
Um, well, you know, coming out was a thing, you know. Finding out my sexuality,
Yeah.
that was a struggle. Um, but my mom accepted it, you know, I never had my dad around. My dad was never in my life. So, you know, that was another battle. But overall, you know, I still, you know, kept one thing I always fought, you know, and so trying to steer away from that, you know,
Yeah.
bad life. But it used to so music, what happened was on the bus, there was a couple guys, you know, freestyling. And so I went over there and started freestyling and, you know, clowning on them, talking, you know, talking about and so that's how like the beginning of it like started like rapping but like messing around. And then what
Wow.
fully developed was after my sister passed is when I decided to make it a career. So,
Wow. And
yeah.
your sister passed was this recently or was it
It was about 7 years ago. So I
okay.
mean, not I mean it still hits home, you know, but
Sorry to hear that, by the way.
yeah, yeah.
And you
But
guys
that's
were very, very close, huh?
yeah, we were close. Um, you know, we grew up together, we did everything together, so but she ended up getting with a husband who, you know, ended up taking her life. So
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
So
So
sorry to hear that.
she's the main reason, my main motivation to why I do this, you know, to spread a message for everybody. Because, you know, I fell into a depression in that time. And, you know, I
Mhm.
know that there's a lot of people that go through things like that. So trying to help anybody that feels that way, it's gone through things, you know. So
Yeah, it's definitely, I mean, just going through something like that is tough. It's
definitely.
tough. I've lost some people in my life as a recent too, so I can feel your pain 100%. And so you put your pain in your music.
Yeah.
And let's talk about your first EP, Rise Above Poverty. Tell me a
Yeah.
little bit about that.
So Rise Above Poverty, I wanted to bring pain, but I wanted to still bring some fun. You know, so not all of it is speaking quite, you know. Um, but so I had 6 songs on there. Um, I think Better Way would be the one that expresses the most from coming out of, you know, the struggle and, you know, trying to find a better way out of what we know or what we're, you know, given because so many of us struggle with getting out of that, you know, street
Yeah.
life, you know, and getting into trouble. That's where I was at. So
Trying to get back, just to find a better way. No matter
Better Way was my way of, you know, trying to express the way to not be in that, like trying to find a way out of that
Yeah,
that street
that's
life.
cycle. And
Yeah.
it's tough when it's around you, right? You know,
Yes,
and especially when you're going through things in life, and then you know you have this environment that's around you. It's easy that it could, you know, suck you in.
definitely. It sucked me in plenty of times.
Let me ask you this question: when was? Do you remember specifically the moment where you just said to yourself, "This is it. I'm done with this."
Um, Not really.
No.
Um, I think, you know, most recently, 2 months ago, getting locked up again, is where I was like, because I thought I had already got out of that, you know,
Oh,
but
okay.
I ended up getting into an altercation that landed me back in jail. And I think now, almost getting 50 to life and still fighting a case, you know, is like where, wow, you know, this can be some real time that I'm going to be doing. So I think now, most recently, about 2 months ago, is where I'm, you know, like I'm done.
That's good. And hopefully that whole legal situation, everything will go good with that.
Yeah, I hope so too. So far, so
Yeah.
good, you know.
I'm gonna be sending lots of prayers your way on that. So this EP, it talked about those kind of times in your life and things of that nature.
Um, no, I didn't go in depth on that. Um, I mean, there's some, like I said, Better Way would be the one that I really expressed, that lifestyle. But there is the Don't Trust, and that to me was one of my hitters in that song. A lot of people liked it. A lot of people were turning up in the clubs to that song when I used to perform it. Um, but
Don't
yeah,
trust.
so a lot of people were surprised because, you know, it was a banger. And they were like, "Oh, this little white girl," because they didn't know me. You know, this is my first EP, and they were like, "What? She's hitting this hard?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's me." They're like, "I can't believe that." You know, so I gained a lot of um, respect from other rappers because they just, you know, you don't look at me, you don't think that, oh, she ain't about that life, but you know, I've been through a lot. So I mean, I'm not gonna say I'm a gangster or anything, but you know, I've been in and out of the street. I dabbled, you know.
Yeah.
but
Uh,
but I don't want to associate myself with that gang banging lifestyle. So I don't talk about gang banging. You know, that's never been a thing for me.
and you performed that mixtape all around Arizona. And now let's talk about Damage mixtape.
Okay, so my Damage mixtape is, you know, from being locked up. It's um speaking about someone who, you know, I used to love that, you know, got me locked up, and
Mm.
my charges, you know, I was gonna do 50 to life. Like my bail bonds was $50,000.
Wow. Wow.
So I didn't call nobody. I was just gonna stay in jail and do my time. And then out of nowhere, you know, the CEO comes up and they're like, "Hey, you know, someone paid your bill." I was like, "What?" I was like, "There ain't nobody I know that has 50 grand just laying around, you know?" So, you know, I owe my mom for getting me out, you know. I'm blessed.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Big shout
otherwise,
out to mom.
yeah. Otherwise I would have been doing 50 to life. So
Wow.
yeah, they were trying to get me.
Yeah, that's huge, man. Big shout out to mom.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I owe my mom, you know. I wouldn't be here right now. I'd still be in the, you know, locked up if it wasn't for her. So But so that mixtape is speaking on that, the pain of, being betrayed by someone that you love. Yes.
But I'm glad that you are managing your emotions. You're in control. And
Yeah.
not only that, the music thing is doing so well now. You're starting to see progress. It's like, wait a minute, I can take these emotions and convey them through music
Yeah.
and make it a business. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
That's where it's
Yeah.
at. That's where it really is at.
Yeah. Because, like, in that time when the cops came, I put a gun to my head and I was ready to end it because
Whoa.
I already knew I was going to go to jail for a long time. So I was, ready to call it quits because you don't want to lay there in a freaking cell for God only knows how long, So but I put the gun down, talked myself out of it, and I just said, you know what, let's just deal with these consequences. So
And wow, look how magical that was. God is good, right?
yeah. So I mean, that also speaks on suicidal things as well. That's why it's
Wow.
called damage. You're damaged from love, but also damaged from the pain inside of your head. Because I, it's crazy. Because my sister's gone, so I told her, I was like, if you think that I shouldn't do this, stop me, and she stopped me. So that was a big thing
Wow.
for me. Yeah.
Fire Shawty is an American hip-hop artist born and raised in Phoenix, Arizona. She grew up with her mother struggling to raise 4 kids on her own, with her father out of the picture when she was only 6 months old. As Fire Shawty grew older, she was in and out of trouble with schools, fighting and misbehaving. She played sports to try and keep out of trouble.
And this show is called the Mental Margarita Show. Not just because it's catchy, but mental margarita. We deal with mental health and we deal with all these different things. And we all, like, no one is excluded from dealing with some kind of mental health issue at some point in your life, you know? So how big is therapy for you? Do you have a therapist? Do you get therapy? I know, I get therapy. I mean, I think it's something that everyone should not be ashamed of.
Right.
How big is that for you?
So I mean, honestly, before it was never a thing for me, but with this recent outburst, I would say, I chose to seek help. They actually diagnosed me with severe depression at the time. That was 2 months ago. I was like, I was hitting rock bottom with the depression. Didn't want to get out of bed, didn't want to work, didn't want to do music. And then
Right.
I just started talking to someone finally, because I think the biggest thing a lot of us struggle with is keeping our emotions built in.
Yeah.
'Cause
Not letting
I
it
don't know
out.
about, I can't speak for everybody, but a lot of the times you know what I mean, you think that speaking out on how you feel is a weakness, you
Right.
know. So speaking on, the hurt part of me, it's I thought it was always a weakness. So I always pushed back from it. I always bottled up my feelings until they explode, which actually is worse.
Right.
Now that I speaking to a therapist, she's like, you need to let it out, da, da, da.
You gotta
So
let it out. Yeah.
yeah, you always keep it bottled up. It's just gonna kill you more inside. Yeah.
All the time in the world. I wish we had all the time in the world, but tell me about the single.
So of course that one's my single from my Damaged EP. If you listen to the lyrics, you know how I talk about being in jail in there. So um but that was something, that my ex used to say was, she used to, I was like, I would complain about not having time with her, and she'd be like, well, we have all the time in the world, but now we
Mm,
don't. you know, now we're not together. So that song speaks about that, you know, and her doing me wrong. So putting me in jail and, you know, all this. So that's speaking about, you know, telling someone that we have all the time in the world. But honestly, we never know if we have all the time with whoever we have time with.
That's so true. You know?
That's what that song speaks about.
You said we had all the time in the world. Remember when you used to tell me that? So we planned a lifetime together. We planned a lifetime together. You said we had all the time in the world. All the love given and still we failed. You weren't around when I was in need. Then you turn around and put the blame on me. You said we had all the time in the world. All the love given and still we failed. You weren't around when I was in need. Then you turn around and put the blame on me. All that blame on me like you did no wrong. Try to tell me that your feelings were strong. Never even cared if I was gone. Got out of jail and you just moved on. Now you got a place like you planned all along. Now you can have whoever you want. Since I'm the person that you love and hate. Hope you're happy if someone takes my place. You said we had a lifetime, now we have no time. So much time to think that we can rewind. Used to have love, now we get to decline. Gotta erase you cause you were never mine. It hurts so much when you planned a life. Now it just feels like I got stabbed with a knife. Now I have to question if it's worth the fight. Living life without you and it don't feel right. You said we had all the time in the world. All the love given and still we failed. You weren't around when I was in need. Then you turn around and put the blame on me. You said we had all the time in the world. All the love given and still we failed. You weren't around when I was in need. Then you turn around and put the blame on me. It hurts so much when you planned a life. Now it just feels like I got stabbed with a knife. Now I have to question if it's worth the fight. Living life without you and it don't feel right. You said we had all the time in the world. Time in the world. Time in the world. All this love given and still we fail. Still we fail.
You
That's
know,
so
we
true.
never have all the time in the world.
No. Time is very precious for all of us, right?
Yes,
Like, we don't know when is our time,
we don't.
you know? So
You
we
know,
gotta be very mindful of it.
yeah. So now,
And go
yeah,
ahead.
I'm just blessed that I'm, you know, still here with, you know, almost taking my life and all that. So go ahead.
I am blessed too, and I think also Creative Minds Entertainment is blessed. They're
Yeah.
happy that you're still here because you recently signed to them, huh?
Yeah, that actually happened like a day before I dropped that song. So
Wow.
yeah, it was pretty crazy. I did push them off for a while. You know, I've always been independent artist. I've always
Yeah.
fought for that. But, you know, I trying something new now, you know. I mean, I'm not saying that it just hasn't worked for me as an independent artist, you know. So trying something new. But still a lot to learn in the whole signing game.
Yeah, there's a lot to be learned for us all. But I think that the good thing about you is that you are a survivor and you have persevered. So anything that comes your way now, those obstacles are not going to be nearly as challenging as the ones you've already hurdled over.
Yeah.
So that should be pretty exciting to know that your future is so bright.
Yeah, it is. You know, there's been so many times, you know, where I wanted to give up, you know, whether it was my life or just music in general, you know. But, you know, now it's completely turned around. It's getting better. Like I'm getting recognized. It's crazy. You know, I just never expected it to happen so fast.
Fire Shawty would freestyle battle the boys on the way home on the bus. She never took music seriously until the tragic passing of her sister in 2015. She fell into a deep depression around that time. 3 years later, she released her first EP, Rise Above Poverty, with 6 tracks. Don't Trust and Better Way are her hits from that EP.
So I tell you one thing, you have gone through so much, and I know that we spoke about that earlier, and it's just really interesting to see how you're managing to push through everything that you're going through, all the adversity.
Yeah.
How difficult has that been for you?
Well, you know, it probably would have been harder if I wasn't seeing a therapist, but you know, seeing a therapist, you know, talking about it really helps. Um, it hasn't been easy because, you know, the trauma of, you know, what I did affected, you know, my daily, you know, my way of thinking, I guess you could say. I guess it it pushes you to not, you know, be as great as you thought you were, you know what I mean? It kind of put, you know, but the speaking to therapist really helps get out of that, out of your head, you know, because like I think a lot of things is when we deal with things like that, like we get in our head a lot, and you got to fight that. So I fought that, you know. Now I'm doing better, you know. So
Now, with everything that you've gone through as of recently, is there light at the end of the tunnel for you, or is there still some things that you got to hurdle over?
I think there's light in the tunnel, you know. Um, there wasn't before, you know. Speaking to my lawyer, I started feeling some way, you know. I started really, you know, getting put down because like she was telling me I was gonna have 5 felonies. I was gonna be looking at some hard time, and I was like, damn, I got bailed out. I'm already, you know, thought I was past that, but but with me seeing therapy and, you know, getting the help that I need, it shows them that I'm trying to be better. So everything looks like it's going to be going down. I might not see jail time. So I'm hoping on Thursday I'll find out.
Oh,
So on Thursday, I'm hoping everything's good and I can finally just let this case go, you know, and
be
actually
done.
have to do time. So that's a big, you know, overload. That was a big thing that was like pushing me to not be as, you know, successful because I was like, man, what am I even gonna go do this music stuff if I'm just gonna go back to jail? You know?
Right.
Who's gonna push it out while I'm in jail, you know? Like so that was
The
a big
Margarita show. No, I'm playing. We don't. We want we want you out. We prefer to have you out.
like
Yeah.
1 minute I'm out of jail, 1 minute everybody's trying to, you know, talk to me and sign me, and I'm just like, wow, you know, where was this 5 7 years ago, you know?
Right.
When I was younger, ready, you know?
Right. Come on. Timing is impeccable.
Right.
You know, it really is. It's impeccable. Now, how do they reach you if they want to book you for a show or have you on a feature or just get to be a fan of yours?
You can follow me on Facebook, my Fire Shawty page. I have Instagram. I'm also on Reverb Nation, and I have SoundCloud.
Cool.
The Spotify, I'm waiting for things to clear, and then I can get back on Spotify. But yeah, sooner or later, my goal is to be on all platforms. So still working on that, but I have YouTube, you know, all that other stuff. So, but soon enough, I will be on all platforms once this damaged EP. I'm just been working so much on this EP, trying to make it sound the best I can because the pain that, you know, expresses into it. So
Yeah, I'm really excited. I'm really excited. And we're so excited to have you on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, Fire Shawty is in the building. And look, we got to bring you out to Vegas real soon since we're neighbors.
yeah, I'm right around the corner, definitely. But yeah, I'm blessed to be here, you know. Thank you for having me.
All right, now tell Mom I said hello, and let's shake the world.
You had me like an illness, had me thinking she was the realest. Now I don't get my love, I just say business.
Elmer loves to giggle. Elmer's mommy taught him that laughing can help when you have a big feeling, like when you feel happy. Make sure to celebrate when you're happy and laugh it out. Love your mind.
A Reliable Pest Control is committed to providing great customer service using the best industry-leading products and most of all, reliability. Family owned and operated for over 25 years, we offer faithful, friendly service at fair rates. Get started today at justdeadbugs.com. A Reliable Pest Control, the only name you need to know when you've got bugs and you want them gone. Call 258-4011.